What's up, guys? Jeremy Clark here, Phils Jackson on X, and we're doing a little mic test and gonna share some of this video here. Hope you guys Sunday is doing good. Um, what I have here is a side by side of Jigsaw. I have a 2-tick chart on the left. I have a 1-tick chart on the right, which I'm trading off of. And there's just a cool little short that I did here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit play on that and let's get that going. So I'm seeing price kind of topping out here near this high point on the session profile. And I'm looking for a short entry. And just noticing that these are reloading here. You see that big reload on the offer. So it fell off of this value at like 37 and it dropped down to 35. And then 35 is value. And I'm looking for this to drop down to 33. So once 34 becomes value, I'm going to get short here and go for, I think, about 8 ticks. So there's the short entry, just a little bit behind the offer, waiting to get filled. Okay, we got filled. And I'm going to be setting my take profit right at this low point because previous value was about 31.75 and it's bounced off of that already. And you can see it went right to it and just 1 tick below it, and it never hit 31.75. So in this instance, I think you would say maybe 32.25. Let's take another look at that, where value ended up 32.50. So I'd be willing to say, 32.75 was value even, and that it just kind of spilled over a couple ticks. But that was a good catch there. I really liked the way that one played out. Just wanted to share that. And then let's do some drums. I'm going to add some drums to the mix. Just take us out on a interlude.
Hey, what's going on, Jeremy?
What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good too. How was your
Awesome.
weekend?
It was not bad. Not bad at all. Worked a little, just chilling out a little. How about you?
Nice. Yeah, well, I got busy downloading all that stuff that you guys shared on your education channel. So I'm almost through them, and I was talking with Grace. She also is studying all those courses. So it's good stuff, man.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I thought that was a bright idea. You mentioned you went to get a external hard drive to kind of
Yes.
capture everything, and I haven't done that yet. I need to do that. Maybe I'll do that today. Work on getting an external so I can drop those on there. I know there's some files inside it, some of the drills that don't just play automatically. You do have to download them and possibly even like reformat them. I'm not sure. They're in like a weird format, but it would be cool to have those drills as well. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, and the reason why I went is because when I used to download stuff, I remember, right, long ago, they used to share these mega links and they don't last long. So, just in case, just want to make sure, I grab everything I can.
I think that's wise. I got to do the same thing. Yeah, I'm gonna order a drive today. So far, they've stayed up, and I know some of the links came from a guy who he just seems really genuine and wanting to, share everything, just, to kind of, I guess, help everyone else out. He seems like a cool cat. Somebody that Psychosis introduced me to in another Discord. And
Okay.
I touched base with him, and he was just like, yeah, any questions, any help you need, just hit me up. And I was like, okay, cool. And so
No, I
I, I,
mean, I was. Oh, just go ahead. Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
was just gonna say, I have the feeling he's gonna leave them up, but like you said, better safe than sorry.
Yeah. I talk with Grace occasionally, right? Because she knows a lot of volume profile, and I know a little bit of order flow, so we exchange ideas here and there. And I mean that the Axia futures, then the SMB Capital, that thing is like, I mean, it's good stuff, man. Straight legit stuff. And I mean, all that stuff is so difficult to get, because when you go through your YouTube, channels or whatnot, you just get some snippets here and there, but you don't you don't have this whole thing put together, and that's the beauty of all those courses. I mean, you have the Market Delta. That's from what is his name? Trevor Hartnett, which is the original guy from Order Flow. He created Order Flow back in 2002. So all that stuff is pretty good stuff, man.
Well, that's cool. I haven't checked out any of the Trevor Hartnett stuff. I know you'd mentioned it, um, but that's cool that we have that access to that. I'm definitely going to dive into that as well. And like you said, we're always picking up little snippets here and snippets there. It's nice to have the consolidated, complete courses to go through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. So Trevor Hartnett, what have you been checking out in the Axia course? Have you looked through any of that?
I haven't gone through any of that, to tell you the truth, because I was just last night trying to download as much as I could and put it on the hard drive. Hey, what's up, Malak? How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up, bro?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm alright, man. Just trying to survive.
Yeah.
Excellent. As long as you're alive, that's what counts, man.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling myself,
Yeah. It takes time. It takes time.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Um, we were just talking about the Axia course that Eli and I have been going through different parts of it. I know he's been hitting up the order flow course, and then Dawn was just mentioning the order flow course from Travis. I think she said Travis Hartnett. And then I've been going through, and this is something I want to mention to Dawn. I've been going through the footprint course inside Axia, and it's definitely more complex and dynamic than what I've learned so far from Trader Dale. So,
Okay, yeah.
some of it has been review, but just to give you an example, like the way Axia is doing it is, they'll anticipate like a breakdown, play it,
Oh, nice.
then they'll flip long and play it back up to an imbalance, and then they'll anticipate when the delta sweeps it coming back down and testing the low again. So they'll actually get 3 trades out of a trade where I was getting 1. I might catch one of those, I might spot it on the footprint chart, it might be one of my setups. And so it's just kind of blowing my mind that you can get so good at it that you could actually just sit there and like play all 3 sides, the drop, the bounce, and then the drop back down. It's just like, wow, I want to do
Well,
that.
now that you mentioned that, I mean, that probably is the most complete course. Psychosis and I met this guy, which at first, well, he looked kind of phony, right? Because he used to post this $8,000 days every day. Because I used to run a Discord back in February, right?
Oh,
But
cool.
he's a conflictive guy, right? So anyway, the point is that he supposedly he used to scalp the 5-minute chart up and down, hit reverse and whatnot. And what was cultivating to me is that he used to use the volume profile with the
Hmm.
So if that Axia course has that, that probably is the strategy to look for. Definitely.
Yeah. Um, it's ringing a bell because I think there was some of that in Trader Dale's, because Trader Dale has a volume profile book as well, and so I think
Yeah.
he mixes up footprints and volume profile. And then the other guy that I got some of that from was Ruben Villahermosa. I think Nigel's also
Oh yeah,
gone.
yeah.
Yeah, he kind of turned me on to that, and I think it was in one of his Wyckoff series. He talks about using footprint, aka like order flow, as a footprint with volume profile, and I had a lot of good stuff, good executions came out of that. I don't know if I have yet added the volume profile to my footprint chart. I think I'm looking at them separately, but that might be something to try out.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into those courses that you guys posted and see also that strategy to see how can we take advantage of that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm
Go ahead.
listening in, but I'll be right back, guys.
Okay, cool.
All right.
All right.
You know, one of the things I've been kind of struggling with lately, I mean, this week was, I had some good trades this week, but overall, I think it was negative. I was in the red, and I went through the Norden course, and, you know, his method is really like tight little scalps for, you know, 2 to 5 ticks a lot of times, and just sort of anticipating these micro moves up and down inside the way we do it in Jigsaw is with using the cumulative session profile, but I don't think he uses that. I think he just straight uses the DOM and maybe the time and sales. And it, what's happened is it's made me kind of hyper aware of these micro moves, and now I feel kind of blind to like the bigger picture. You know, it's like I got so zoomed in, and I'm so used to looking at the chart and catching these big moves and getting kind of good at catching breakouts and whatnot. And Norden is just anti all of that. You know, he's anti the chart. He's anti catching big moves. He just advocates for catching these, you know, basically what market makers are doing is kind of, you know, trading price up and down within, say, like 8 to 12 ticks. You know, if it's at 12 and it goes up to 13, they fade it back to 12, and then if it skips a little down to 11, then they buy it back up to 12, and they just bounce around in that zone until it moves. You know, it does make a significant move a little higher, and then same thing, they start hitting, you know, within 3 points, like that. So, you know, it's, in some ways it's been really eye-opening, in some ways it's been really challenging. You know, I'm really struggling with his concept of just throwing out the chart entirely. And it seems like when I do that style of trading, it's more effective maybe to not look at the chart. But then, you know, I feel like I'm missing all of the bigger moves, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I feel you. But you know what? This week particularly was extremely difficult. I mean, we had a trend day on Tuesday, and then the following 2 days were, I mean, we're a wreck, man. I was down. Honestly, I had like 3 or 4 bad days last week, and all this week until Friday, right?
That's right.
Every freaking day got stopped. It was awful, man. And I couldn't find my mojo. I couldn't, you know, I just couldn't see it. So I guess that strategy is amazing because it helps you to, you know, adapt to this type of market conditions.
Yeah, that's where it really seems to shine. And, you know, sometimes they say like price is in a range 90% of the time, right? So that's, it has me looking for ranges. It has me playing the range, which is cool. But, you know, like you said, it was a brutal week. I felt like on a lot of the days, price was just random. And Eli said this to me too. He was like, it's not just you, dude. It's like we're seeing price just kind of go up and down and up and down and back and forth, and it's just directionless and random, and it made it really tough, you know. So that's just something I've been kind of ruminating on.
Yeah, I also had to struggle in my personal habits. I had 2 days in which I had to wake up for no reason at 1 a.m. or whatnot, and then I couldn't focus in the morning. So I started doing like a micro workout, like 30 minutes before the session, and that pumped the blood into my brain, and it seemed to have helped me a little bit more. But aside from that, from my personal life, the market was really I think it was really more like a liquidity building thing, whereas I think we saw these algos. I don't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday that we had these crazy algo moves again, like 20 handles, 30 handles up. You couldn't even grab like a tick there because it was so fast, right?
Right.
So, and that's, I mean, that was the key, man. Like, if in my view, if I would have waited, maybe I would have grabbed something. But I mean, at the end of the day, the volatility it went up, and that means that they're gonna take higher stops or lower stops or whatever, and it is what it is.
Yeah. I was thinking too, they say the summertime, a lot of the big players step out and that the market becomes thinner and hence becomes, a lot less predictable. And so I was kind of wondering if now we're seeing people coming, larger players re-entering, or if it was just a bunch of retail anticipating changes. I think with the bigger moves, I think that does indicate bigger players at work. So,
No, and you're right, absolutely. Earlier today, I was watching a YouTube channel from this Spanish guy who lives in Switzerland, right? It's a portfolio manager, and he was saying that all the Goldman Sachs Prime Book guys, all the private wealth, people, they were selling since the beginning of the summer. So that makes sense what you're saying, absolutely.
So they were just kind of releasing, maybe smaller amounts to not completely spook the market, but just kind of selling off, taking profit essentially, but doing it slowly over time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's something that Nigel talks about a lot in like his Wyckoff breakdowns. I was watching, he was doing a breakdown on Bitcoin earlier, and it was, kind of a mirror image of what's been happening in SPX and SPY. Where it kind of hit a high and it topped out and then it just started dipping and dipping. But I think he also thinks there is kind of a larger accumulation at play. I think, like you said, they're trying to loosen up some liquidity so they can take it. And then at some point, once it bottoms out, then it'll really take off. But
So you think that we might be following Bitcoin steps at this point?
they're definitely mirroring each other. Bitcoin is a 24-hour market, and ES is kind of on its own for part of the day, and then SPX is like a 6 or 7 hour market, 8-hour market, something like that. So but it's like during those noisy hours, there's definitely similar things happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what is your take for the next week?
That's a good question. I'm just pulling up the chart here. Man, we had this big dip. I have a couple ranges marked. I don't know if you can see my screen, but
I see it.
okay, cool. So I'm just looking over the last week here. Let's get rid of the VWAPs and just take a look. Because one of the things I've been sort of eyeballing is this larger, the larger wave pattern. So I kind of had this idea that, maybe you can see this little dip down here at the bottom, that this was quite likely, a wave one. And then we got this little wave two. I don't know if you follow like Elliott waves at all. Did you ever get into that? Okay. So, they're not perfect and they don't always work, but they tend to work on the higher time frames. And let's see here. So let's clone that. So generally, in a wave 1, you're going to see a wave 3. So you have like 1 comes down, that's wave 2. Then this is wave 3 coming up. And wave 3 should be, a little longer than wave 1, but kind of similar. And that's what you see right here. And then wave 2 and wave 4 should be roughly equal, and that's what you see right here, which means this little guy right here, let's just go ahead and clone that. This little guy would then be a wave 5. And it's shorter. You'll notice it topped out. It didn't make it to the top of where wave 4 hit the high. So you're in a regular impulse wave, your highest point is going to be the top of wave 3. And then wave 5 came up, and it looked pretty strong, but it was weak volume. That's typical of a wave 5. So wave 5 is just kind of the dying gasp. And so when this thing drops, where can it drop to? And generally, if this does a big pullback here, you're not, basically the lowest low that it shouldn't break would be 50.2450, which would be the bottom of wave 2 over here, the April 24 low. So it could go below this wave 4 low right here at 51.45, but it should not go below 50.30. My guess would even be like 51.10, something like that, in that range.
Yeah.
That's if we're going to get continuation. So that's what I'd be looking for is, we could definitely drop down. There's tons of room to drop down and consolidate and possibly accumulate some more at the bottom. But, we're kind of due for a pullback, and you'll notice it's actually making a kind of head and shoulders pattern too. So, just going off of that, I don't think we'd go below 50.44. So at some point this wave 5 pullback will get done, and and then I would start looking for a big shakeout and then a pull back to the upside. And I feel like we were kind of talking about this last week, like, was it going to break out? And I think we were looking at this kind of horizontal consolidation right here, this range almost where the green arrow is pointing to, and that's really the area I was looking for, a false breakout or a failure. And you got a couple attempts to break through it, and then that's exactly what happened. It got that big drop, and then the big drop continued. So we are still looking at ES here. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to run a fib. I don't really trade off the fib so much, but on the higher time frame they do kind of play out. So my first short-term target would be at the 1.272% extension, which is right at 54.60, and you can see we hit that. We hit the 150% extension, and we hit the 162% extension. So does it have more juice to go lower? There's definitely this 100% extension at 53.50, and just looking at that wave 2 over here, that would be safely still above it. So it could hit 53.50 at this would be the 200% extension, and it would still be, possibly a bullish accumulation. So if we start losing 51.20, that's when I start getting nervous.
Yeah, he's back.
I was listening to you say about the Wyckoff theory that I have in mind for the distribution. That I think it's a distribution. We can never be sure, but I have a chart set up here in case you guys want me to kind of break down what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that'd be great. If you want to share your screen, we can pull that up.
I think I'm sharing my screen already.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Let's see if I can feed that in here. There it is. Pop that guy out. And I'm just dropping that down. Let's try this one more time. Pop out. Ah, there we are. Okay, we should be good to go on my end, Nigel, if you're there.
Okay. So let's see here. This is the monthly chart. Let me just make sure. 1 second. Right. So it's the monthly chart, and I have these levels here set up for the Wyckoff theory. So let's see here on the first, well, September 2021. Actually, August 2021, we have the preliminary stop or preliminary supply, which is around 48.77, and then we have the buying climax here on January 2022, which is 51.61.75, and then after that we came down here to create the automatic reaction around 39.98. And then we popped back up. We created a secondary test at 46.86.50. That's on the August 2022. Then we created this minor sign of weakness at October 2022. So after that, we started to rally. Right? We created this. We came up here. We tested the preliminary supply. We got sellers there. We pulled back a little bit. And then we pushed up again. So right now we're in uptrust territory, right? So to me this is the beginning of a distribution, but it's not really ready to break down very far as yet. But I'm thinking like uptrust after distribution is when you're actually gonna get like the real selling. Now, what could happen here is that we get a retest of like these lows, like the automatic reaction, back down to like these 4,000 levels. So it's basically like a retracement back to where the big buying came in. And given the characteristic of the ES, it's basically always bullish. So everything pulling back is basically just like a retest, right? It's not really like a big sell-off or the market is going to crash, right? So I'm thinking the biggest move we're going to get is probably back to maybe 4,000. But this would be the first stop here. This is, what would you call this? Like the lowest point. Yeah, like this is the swing low, right? For now. And we could probably come back and retest the swing low, or probably retest like the secondary test. Let's say that's resistance turning into support, because it was prior resistance, and it could turn into support as well. This preliminary stop here as well, preliminary supply, sorry, is support to resistance turning into support again. So I'm thinking we could probably start distributing back down to these levels to, you know, like I guess get more buyers or to go up north. But I don't think we're gonna break out right now. I think we're gonna have like a little bear market coming in, because I have the same kind of setup here on Bitcoin.
So those are great levels, Nigel. For some reason, I was calling you Malak, right? Because of your
No, it's just the screen name and stuff. But either one, it doesn't matter.
By the way, welcome, Claire.
Oh, Claire's in here. Hi, Claire. So yeah, so this uptrust levels here on Bitcoin, right? I'm thinking Bitcoin is gonna actually enter, because at this level here is the first uptrust in the distribution cycle, right? But
Okay.
Bitcoin has already run up to the second uptrust after distribution. This is where you're supposed to really get the selling coming in. So
Okay.
I'm thinking Bitcoin is really gonna start leading the way down back to this automatic reaction, and we're gonna probably cover some of this buying candle here. Now, if you look at the volume on this buying candle, it's really small comparative to the length it took or the range it took up, right?
That's
So
what. I'm sorry to interrupt. That's what I'm
no, go ahead.
calling an anomaly. When you have this big candle and you have this really lackluster volume to represent that. That's a good observation right there.
Yeah. And after that, we're getting this volatility. So this is basically like a buying climax, but it's the buying climax already took place here. This is uptrust after distribution where you get that volatility of starting to create something like this. Let me just use this. So according to the Wyckoff theory, we're supposed to start getting something like this and creating lower points of supply, right? And we're supposed to push down, get that pop up there again, create another lower point of supply until it actually breaks down like the automatic reaction at 28, and you could probably get like a nice flush down here to the minor sign of weakness, create another retest here, and create another lower point of supply. And the reason I think this is going to happen is because in the future, to control Bitcoin, you're going to have the most Bitcoin available, right? Because it's not like fiat currency where the Fed could just reprint more money and do whatever they want with it, right? So you can't print more Bitcoin, but you could hold a lion's share of Bitcoin to actually control the economy, right? So I think this is the overall play for Bitcoin. It's gonna have to come back, take out everybody, because if you bought at this level right here, how much pain are you gonna withstand? We already got up to this level here. You were in major profit, right? If this starts breaking down here, this is gonna be a major stop run, because who's gonna give up all those gains? I know
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it personally.
I think that's a really good point. And I do
You
think.
guys,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, are you guys invested in Bitcoin?
I am
Not really.
not currently. I usually wait for the 4-year bull run, and it kind of starts towards the end of this year. This would be like the 3rd year, but it's not going to be as strong until 2025. So I go in and out with it, but I don't really like to play these big retracements. I just find it's a lot more illiquid than ES and hard to predict. So, I kind of do it on paper sometimes, and then when I see it taking off again, I'll start to get back in. Yeah. And what about Don?
Bullish.
Sorry, Don, are you in crypto at all?
By the way, my name is Hector, guys.
Oh, cool.
Don is just a name, but
Hector, nice to
we're
meet you.
getting familiar here.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Hector.
Nice to meet you, Jeremy. So no, I just watch it for the sake of argument. I like the thesis that Nigel is presenting here, and that's what we were talking about before. When you were away, Nigel, Jeremy was also saying that Bitcoin seems to be leading the way, and that's what's been happening.
Yeah. I was listening, so I was hearing you guys, so that's why I was hurrying to come back to kind of just break down this little thesis I have here. And like this right here is the weekly chart, and you can see this is where the uptrust, like on the monthly. Let me just go back over here. Right, so this is the monthly candles. This is the weekly distribution. So this is a distribution within a distribution. And you can see more clearly where we're actually probably gonna break this level right here. Now, two things could happen here. You could get a double bottom, right? Because market makers don't have to really move on on any timing. They just need the operation to be successful, right? So even though they might want to distribute, they might like if too many people start jumping on their coattails, right? They could do a double bottom right here and take it right back up and break the highs just for a stop run in case, like, institutions start going short in anticipation, and that'll be a good way to actually accumulate Bitcoin as well, right? Because they're gonna run stops. So I'm watching this area here to see if big buyers are gonna come in or we're gonna get the stop run. It's either through two things, right? You're either gonna get the stop run or you're gonna get the support here at the psychological level of 50,000.
Yeah.
So
Nigel,
that's what I'm kind of looking at.
I think that's right on. Can you keep your screen on that for a second, and can I share my screen? I'm just gonna drop this in here. Let's see. Turn to app. Can you see the screen that I have pulled up?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the same chart that you were just discussing. This is the weekly on Bitcoin, and I just wanted to point out that there is this this widening sideways, consolidation. It started out small and it's getting bigger as it goes, as it's opening up.
Right.
There was a trader I used to like. Say that again.
Like a megaphone.
Like a magnephone pattern, yeah. A trader I used to follow used to call it the Horn of Plenty. But that being said,
Like Jewish,
yeah. That being said, what it does show is that the volatility is increasing as this pattern plays out, and like Nigel was just saying, the low then puts it down here on 47.9 just to even backtest this bottom line, because it's getting lower and lower. There does seem to be more stoppages happening. It's less of a decline on the top, so that level is being enforced. But I don't really have an opinion on where this is going to go once it's outside of the range, and when and if it does break out. But I just wanted to share. I was noticing this megaphone pattern, and we can debate what that means, but it's there. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this back out. Oops.
You should put the parallel channel on that. You remember the parallel channel we were talking about last time?
Oh yeah.
Trading View.
Yeah, for sure. I got it saved in my my favorites here. Boom and boom. And one thing about the parallel channel, I wish that we could change the upper and lower trend lines to separate colors, because in this case, like, they're both white.
Right.
They can only be one color, but it's really cool. So if I drop that in, let's just go ahead and get rid of this for clarity. So you can see price is right at that the median line, which it keeps coming back to that, and it's in a downward descending pattern there. Yeah, I love this tool. Use it all the time. What were you gonna say?
The other thing that concerns me, I don't know if we touched base on this, but going back to the ES on the weekly chart, I don't know if you can do that.
Yeah.
So this is the weekly. Let's see. We have a sort of let's call it evening star. Those last three candles right there, which would entail more selling. So I guess as Nigel pointed out already, those monthly levels might be something to watch out. I just wanted to say that that we haven't seen that type of sell-off on a weekly level before. As we saw the previous type of sell-off was 3 weeks pattern, and now it's a week pattern that takes off all of that. So
Yeah, so you're just talking about this this guy right here, this kind of You got this upswing, and then you got this kind of doji with no, there's no wick above even. It just got slammed down right there, and then this drop. So this pattern right here is, you're saying that's an evening star,
Yeah, that's correct.
right? Yeah, because it hangs high in the sky and then comes back down the other way. Yeah. So, do you have any thoughts on how that might play out now that it's here? At 54.1750, does it typically continue further down, or do we get a little bounce right here, a little relief bounce?
It's hard to say for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm usually wrong in these type of goals, but obviously, in the short term, we should see a downside. But if you ask me what's gonna happen tomorrow, I really have no idea.
Yeah.
My take would be follow. I mean, the reaction to the news, right? As we saw on Friday. I mean, Friday, we saw this news reaction, and the follow through was lackluster. There wasn't any commitment from the Bulls at all.
Yeah.
So that's but that's the one thing that concerns me, that now, as Nigel pointed out, in a monthly basis and now on a weekly basis and even daily basis, all three time frames, we're starting to see a change of character. So
Yeah, like it's flipping to the downside. Is that what you mean by change of character?
yeah. I mean, I would watch the VIX. If you're trading the ES, I would watch the reaction to the eco data and the dollar, and also the yen. I don't know if you could put the pair there, the USD JPY.
Yeah, let me pull that up. Before I do that,
That's a good pair.
I just wanted to mention, so looking at SPX, you can really see that evening star played out here as well. Even though, EX is on a lower amount of hours per session, it just completely mirrored what happened in ES.
The one thing that could be a place of support is that 53,000 or that 5,400 too. But we'll see what we get next week.
Yeah, I was looking at that as well. Just looking right here, there is kind of like a bullish order block that could be retested right down to about 53.50. So that would make sense because buyers definitely stepped in right there previously, for them to try to step in again. But yeah, let's just see if I can pull up. You wanted to see the yen and the US dollar, was that right?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I want to show you guys. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to look at this religiously just before you start your day, or
The first one, Jeremy.
Yeah, just the first one is good.
Oh.
Okay. I was looking for Owanda because I usually use that one, but FXCM, that works?
Yeah, they're good too.
Okay, cool. All right then, so that should be down here. Okay, so this is on the weekly.
Yeah. But look how close it is to a support point right there. So if
Yeah.
this thing starts to break down again, that means that Japan is going to start selling off. Asia is going to start selling off. Now, I'm not a huge macro guy. I'm just going to talk some probably gibberish. But what I was reading is that Germany is declining, Europe is declining. So you kind of start to see this unfolding of liquidity in global markets. I would just pay attention to that, but at the end of the day, we trade these charts. But just keep in mind, if you hear something like this, you can take it into your thesis where the overall trend might be.
Yeah, and it's been a while since I traded Forex, but if I'm remembering correctly, the yen is sort of positively correlated to the US dollar. Obviously, if the yen goes down, it's not an exact correlation, but they can go down together, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So the yen could be kind of the canary in the coal mine. We could be seeing that pullback starting. I may have that backwards. So if the yen is inversely correlated to the US dollar, then if we see the yen dropping, we would see the US dollar going up. Okay, yeah. So that's what we're seeing here. I'm sorry, I have that backwards. And if the dollar, yeah, if the dollar's going up, then that's negative for the stock market, especially for SPX and NQ.
I mean, correlations flip back and forth from time to time. So
yeah. Let's see. I don't have this on the week, but let's pull this over to the week and just take a look.
Yeah, you see the US dollar right now, it's in a reversal kind of mode because we're down at some lows here. We're starting to get like an accumulation structure. We already created an automatic rally, and now we just created a secondary stop at a monthly Camarillo S3. So this is kind of setting up where the US dollar could start gaining some strength, and that's not really too good for the ES. Now sometimes they kind of move in tandem a little bit, like sometimes they're buying the US dollar and buying SPX as well. But when we come down to these significant levels and maybe the Fed or whoever else starts buying the US dollar, it'll affect the ES in a negative way. So maybe they might be correlating a little bit right now, but then that divergence is going to start happening as the US dollar really gains strength.
Yeah, I'm just marking. So there is kind of like a little double bottom formation happening here. You can see the high volume on the buyers there and the buyers there.
Yeah, and you see how big that wick is? That's major buying right there.
Yeah, that wick. Yeah.
Plus, the other thing that happened during 2020 is that we start to see deals sell off. Like from the reaction to last week's, NFP, we start to see the 10 years selling off, the 2 years selling off. So when you start to see the 2 years selling more broadly than the 10 year, that means that the sell-off is imminent, it's coming. And that's I think to just watch on the back burner, just in case,
Yeah. I don't know if I follow the 2 year. Do you know what the ticker is for that?
I have it.
I don't know the ticker. Let me.
So I think I follow the.
That is the 30 and the 10, right?
Yeah, that's the 30. I think is the UB, and then the ZB it might be the 5. I forget.
It's USO2Y.
Okay. USO2Y.
And you gotta take it off of Forex there.
Is that
it on all?
Okay. There it is.
No, that's not it.
Oh, it's not it.
That's not it. No.
Say it again. USO2Y.
USO2Y.
USO2.
I wonder if that's 0. Try US02Y.
Okay. US0. Yeah, that's it. The bond yield. So TVC, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's one I haven't really been following, but I'd like to. Yeah. Okay. So that one's really leading the charge to the south, huh?
Definitely.
Wow. Interesting.
Look at that chart, man. That's terrible.
So is this an index, the 2 year yield, or the reason I'm asking, I don't see volume. I have the volume indicator on, but I don't know.
No, you can't get volume with that.
Okay.
Is it a note or a bill or?
It's like it's just an interest rate really. So
okay.
Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that'd be a really cool thing to follow along with the bonds.
Yeah.
I like that.
And
Go ahead.
from a psychological level, like where we're at back to the ES, right? We're at this change of character. We're at a significant level where buyers came in before. To me, when when you start getting at these levels, you gotta kind of think more psychological than levels itself, right? So to me, I look at the ES as it's a bull market. Bulls are definitely gonna take all reversals. They're gonna buy every dip, right? Because I think that's what make them money in the first place, right? They're not gonna really stray from that strategy, right? So on Monday or during the week, because we have core inflation coming up on Wednesday. Now we might start off slow, and they want to see what's going on until Wednesday. But after Wednesday, I think we might get some buying. Not really sure, but I'm thinking because every time the market changes, like some people are gonna see, like Hector was pointing out, these are 3 weeks of selling. We got
Yeah.
major buying coming back in, and we have 1 week that covers that entire selling right there.
Okay.
Some people like us are gonna start seeing, okay, this is a change of character, and we're gonna start looking for the shorts, right?
Yeah.
The bigger guys who always buy these dips, like down here and stuff, they're gonna continue trying to buy at this level. So it might be a little back and forth, but to me, like King Bear, who I think controls the market, he has the most buying power. I think he's gonna sit it out until he gets the catalyst on Wednesday to make a move. He's either gonna run stops or he's gonna run stops this way.
Yeah.
Right now, who do you think has the most stops really in the market? I would think it's probably the buyers
Yeah, for sure.
because it'll psychologically people don't want to give up on all-time highs being broken right here.
Yeah.
Even though we see like this change of character, they're not gonna give up just yet. They're gonna start giving up around here and here. That's where you go
Yeah.
all the panic and it's a bear market and all that kind of stuff. But right now they're still gonna be hopeful, and probably Wednesday we'll get like a decision from like the big guy who's really moving this. He's gonna make a decision on Wednesday. Well, okay, should I run stops here or should I just run stops on this side? So it's kind of indecisive right now, but I think it's gonna start off slow the week.
Yeah,
Heard
that's
that.
that's a great point because I was looking at the calendar as you said, and Monday and Tuesday we have pretty much nothing. So
Right.
Wednesday and Thursday might be the big days.
Yep.
Hector, that's a great point. I think I just realized. So your avatar is that Jerome Powell flexing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Doing a double bicep.
That's so
I'm gonna
cool.
post it later today.
I gotta get back in the gym, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
me too, bro. I have a belly, man. I can't get rid of this shit. I used to be fit and trim and all that, but the years. I'm 43 years old, so I need to get my ass out working.
Yeah, man. I just had like a little complications here. I had a little surgery and stuff, so right now it's downtime for me. But I can't wait to probably get back in there in October, maybe.
Yeah, you
because
gotta
I
you
hate
gotta
this
go
feeling, man.
you gotta go slow, and start building up.
Yeah, bro.
Don't try to do your old workout and just kind of ease back into
Yeah.
it.
And
I,
that's gonna suck, man. When you go
yeah.
in there and you're just doing this kind of light stuff, and psychologically, it kills me to go back to that level.
No, I feel you. So I had a couple times recently. In June, I had COVID, and I was down for 2 weeks, and then I had a week off where I just started going back to the gym. And same
Yeah,
thing, man. It was like I was hitting a wall physically,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I kept going every other day because I was just on vacation. And each day I got a little better. And then I think
yeah,
by the end of the week, I was back up to my full workout. I was still feeling just fatigued and tired, but I was able to do the full workout.
yeah.
And then about 3-4 weeks ago, I had a pinched nerve in my shoulder, and I think it was partly just my form, doing shoulder presses and stuff. And so for like a week or two, I couldn't, I'd gone down from pressing like 60 pounds to like 20. I could just barely do 20 without just gritting my teeth. And then I kind of worked back up to 30, I worked back up to 40, and then I'm back up at my regular level again and trying to, catch my form. But your body remembers, man. It'll come back.
In your shoulder, right? Where is the pain? Is it to the back or the front?
It was in the back. Yeah, right, almost next to the neck. You know.
So what you gotta do for that is the cables in the gym, right? Where you could do you could drop the cables down to do biceps pull-ups and you could do the triceps there.
Oh yeah, where you're kind of like doing this. That one.
Yeah, well I can't see you, but
Okay.
so,
Like a shoulder raise.
yeah, no, the cable it's just on the what should I say, the bar, right? And you can move it up and down on the bar to be higher above your head, or it could be lower on the ground. You know
Yeah.
where the
Yeah. Yeah.
cables
Yeah.
do the
Totally.
chest flies?
Yeah.
In between those where you do the chest flies for the cables,
Yeah.
you should take one of those bars, right? Take one of those cables, kind of line it up with your shoulder, kind of like face height, shoulder height, and take the cable. It's gonna be lightweight, right? And you're gonna just raise your shoulder up to shoulder, your elbow to shoulder level, and you're gonna hold the cable there and pull back, rotate back.
Like a
I wish I
fly,
could
like
show
an
you.
inverted fly.
Inverted fly. No. So you're keeping your shoulder and everything straight, right? You're lifting your elbow up to shoulder length, right?
Okay.
And then you're holding the cable right there with your fist and just rotating your fist back to shoulder to that level, not the level of your shoulder, but like a right angle. And you would feel like your muscles in the back of your shoulder is gonna be actually rotating your shoulder, your arm back.
Oh, I
And
see.
that's gonna build back
Yeah.
that feeling right there. It's gonna get
Okay.
rid of that. I'll send you a video though.
Yeah. Send me a link. I'd like to check that out.
Yeah.
Man, it's
Yeah,
hot.
that's
It's hot here in Los Angeles. We're having days about 105. I don't know how it is out there for you guys, but boiling hot.
It's getting into spring now. I mean,
Yeah.
fall.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Arizona too, and it's no fun, man. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hector, where are you located again?
I'm in the border next to Mexico. Just an hour next to Mexico.
Cool,
Tucson.
cool.
Oh, okay. So is that Arizona then?
Yeah, Arizona.
Oh, cool.
Man, it's hot down there, man.
Oh man, but I hate the winter, so it's a trade-off.
Yeah. Do you know? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask. Do you know San Carlos down in Mexico? That little town.
Oh yeah. I've
Oh, you do?
there,
You've
long
been
time
there.
ago. Yeah.
My dad and my stepmom live there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Retire then.
yeah, I haven't been down yet, but I'm definitely gonna go down there and check it out.
Yeah, there a lot of Americans live there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good place. To chill, lay back. Yeah, absolutely.
There are a lot of expats and Canadians and retired
Yeah.
people, like you said. Yeah.
And I mean, LA. I mean, I know it's hot, but I mean, at least you have great sunny days, man. The sunsets in LA don't get any better. You know.
Oh yeah, I agree. And when it's in like 85 degrees and then it cools down at night, that's perfect. But we've been having this heat wave that's just been brutal.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm ready for fall. Yeah. Well, this has been a good session, guys. I'm really glad to catch up with you, and thanks for all your input. Is there anything else that you want to add before we close it up?
No, I think that's all, man. It was a good discussion. I kind of got to lay out my thesis of what I think is gonna happen. And let's see what happens next week. I'm gonna kind of try and start off slow. I'm gonna reduce my size and see what's gonna happen. So I don't want to anticipate too much on Monday because that's where you kind of get chopped up when you have a thesis and then you try to jump right in. It really doesn't work like that.
Yeah, you gotta wait for confirmation of your
Yeah,
idea. Um,
yeah.
yeah, that's something I've been working
Yeah.
on too.
You lose a lot of money within the testing period of that thesis, you know.
Yeah,
You know what I learned in the past couple of years? I used to experiment a lot since I've been trading futures, right? Because it's easier in some sorts, right, to trade futures than options, whatever. But I used to get shopped exactly what Nigel said on Mondays. And statistically speaking, Mondays were my worst day. And I stopped trading on Mondays, and I started, having more patience until there was a clear A plus setups, and then I went. But it's a human nature sometimes that
yeah,
I think that FOMO, comes in through you like a demon, and you go back to the old habits. But that's a great point actually. This Monday, realize that we don't know anything. It's a fresh start, and just let price tell the story, and we'll get in. I'm gonna do the
You know.
same. I'm gonna reduce my size absolutely after having a good day last Friday. Just chill out and see what happens.
Yeah,
yeah. That was
yeah.
a
This
that was a
guy,
great trade by the way, Hector, that you did on Friday. That was at
Thank you, man.
Epic, man. Yeah, very cool.
Thank you. I was at the right place at the right time. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, sometimes if you manage your risk and you keep looking for it, you get lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to add one more thing. I kind of was thinking about what you were saying, with Mondays. I used to struggle with Mondays as well. It used to be my worst day, and I couldn't get a handle on it. And like what you just said, especially following a big trend day on Friday, we're probably going to have some sideways action on Monday. It's a higher
right?
probability. So just anticipating that, you know, lowering size. And then for me, what kind of started to work was like waiting, an hour or two, or nothing specific, but waiting really to see if a setup does form up, rather than just jumping in off the open, um, which sometimes can work on a Wednesday or a Thursday, but definitely being cautious on Mondays. Yeah.
And,
And
and that's actually what I did on Friday. I was telling Claire, because I saw a video from the PAX group, the former trader of the CBOE, and he plays I think he plays the 30-second opening range, right? So the 30-second candle, he plays the opening range from high and low, and I was looking at that, but I said, well, I'm not an expert on 30 seconds, so let's see the 2 minute. And that, with my thesis and whatnot, that's how I got my play. But yeah, that's a great point, Jeremy. Just wait for it, and check, do an emotional check, how you feeling, and whatnot. And, the rest is history.
Yeah.
this guy,
Yeah.
Dave Paul, he said something that I want to leave with you guys as well. And it's a psychological tip to kind of do some evaluation of yourself. Are you trading to make money, or are you trading to be right? And if you really think about, sometimes when you get this thesis in your head, sometimes you really, well, for me especially, I realize I'm trading to be right in my thesis, not really trading to make money, and that's a flaw a lot of traders have. So I really gotta be mindful of which side of my trading character I'm actually trading from, because you really can't trade to be right in the market, because it's a 50-50 chance, right? You
Right.
just gotta wait for the setup, take the setup. If it doesn't work out, accept the loss quickly and move on. Don't try, because that's what happens when you revenge trade. You actually trading to be right, you know.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I want to leave with you guys.
Man, I think that's a great
That's
point.
awesome.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. It's been a great recap. I think we've managed to get in a little over an hour here. So thank you guys for showing up. For anyone watching,
Thank you,
we're,
guys.
yeah, thanks a lot. We'll be doing this pretty much every Sunday, also some Mondays. And you can find us at Premium FTS on X. Hit us up in the comments if you need a link to invite to the Discord. And yeah, trade safe out there. Keep it green, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you guys.
All right, guys. See you all next week.
All right, cheers, guys. I'll just take us out on a little bit of drum session here. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Cheers.